While most people rush to impress, a Sigma male steps back to analyze. He's reading body language, testing energy, scanning for authenticity. It's like emotional reconnaissance. In fact, psychologists have coined a term for this type of behavior. That means Sigma males observe social environments carefully before acting. They're not antisocial, they're selectively social. Where an alpha might bulldoze into a conversation and a beta might freeze, a Sigma remains still, silent but aware. This calculated detachment can come off as aloof or shy, but it's actually powerful restraint. This isn't about being cool for the sake of it, it's about maintaining control. In a world that constantly demands attention, a Sigma male's refusal to overshare or overperform becomes magnetic. Women notice. They're intrigued not by what he says, but by what he withholds. And let's not forget, studies in behavioral psychology show that people are drawn to those who are mysterious. The unknown triggers curiosity. Sigmas don't need to boast or peacock. Their silence speaks volumes. So no, Sigma males aren't shy, they're strategic. And when they move with purpose. Stay tuned because this video is going deeper. It's not just about dating, it's about mastering presence, power, and perception. Let's go. Point 1. Observation before engagement. Sigmas are observers, and not in the casual scrolling through their phone kind of way. They're precision-calibrated human scanners. While others dive into conversations head first, like extroverts belting out their emotions at a karaoke party, Sigmas hang back. They watch, they listen, they gather intel. This behavior is often misunderstood. To the untrained eye, a Sigma male might appear shy, reserved, or even aloof. But that's not what's happening. In fact, it's quite the opposite. You see, Sigmas operate on a different wavelength. While many are busy making noise, Sigmas are decoding the silence. They read body language like a book. They analyze tone of voice for hidden intent. They pick up on subtle cues most people never notice, like micro-expressions, energy shifts, or the difference between real laughter and polite chuckles. Psychologists call this awe, and research supports it. According to Dr. Daniel Goleman, author of People Who Have a High Level of Social Awareness Can Sense Others' Emotions, Understand Nonverbal Communication, and even detect deception. That's exactly what a Sigma is doing. His silence is not awkward, it's intentional. He's filtering out the noise, he's observing before engaging. Why? Because time is currency. And Sigmas don't invest in people who are fake, shallow, or trying too hard to impress. To the average person, this looks like social anxiety or timidity. But in truth, it's strategic. Sigmas know that jumping into meaningless small talk is a waste of energy. They'd rather find the behind your words before they even respond. Think of a Sigma like a lone wolf scout. He doesn't howl for attention. He waits in the shadows, watches the herd, and only moves when the moment is right. His silence? That's data collection. So next time you see a Sigma male off in the corner not saying much, don't assume he's lost in his thoughts. He's probably already figured out who's genuine, who's pretending, and who's not worth his time. He's not being shy. He's just strategizing. Because in the Sigma world, observation isn't weakness, it's weaponry. Point 2, no interest in chasing, let's be honest, and not in some cheesy pickup artist way either. We're talking about silent, unshakable energy that commands attention without demanding it. While the average guy might flood a woman's inbox with emojis and sweet talk, a Sigma male's energy says, "You want me? Earn me." This isn't arrogance, it's psychology. Women are biologically wired to be attracted to confidence, independence, and mystery. Sigma males check all 3 boxes without saying a word. Their quiet presence alone can cause a ripple effect. That's because in a world saturated with noise, someone who doesn't beg for attention, the attention. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because Sigmas don't validate women the way most men do, it can make women feel uncertain, sometimes even insecure. Most women are used to being praised, pursued, and pedestalized. Compliments, flirty messages, constant check-in, and it's almost like background music in the dating world. But a Sigma, he doesn't play by those rules. He's too busy living with purpose. He might appreciate a woman's beauty, but he doesn't lose himself in it. He's not out here showering every woman with attention like it's some social obligation. That shift in dynamic, where a woman isn't immediately praised or pursued, can be confusing. And let's be real, confusion breeds curiosity. Psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement, the idea that unpredictable attention increases desire. When someone can't predict how you'll respond, they become more invested. That's exactly what happens when women encounter a Sigma male. His aloofness isn't a lack of interest, it's a test of hers. In fact, this subtle power dynamic has deep roots in evolutionary psychology. Women, consciously or not, often seek out partners who demonstrate higher mate value. A man who is selective with his attention signals value. He's not desperate, he's deliberate. So when a Sigma walks into the room, he doesn't need cheesy lines or constant praise to get noticed. His silence speaks volumes. His self-possession is magnetic. And his refusal to play the game, that's what makes him the prize. Because at the end of the day, Sigma males don't chase validation. They live in a way that draws it in effortlessly. Point 3, authenticity over approval. Sigmas value realness over performance, period. In a world obsessed with showing off, gaining attention, and curating the perfect image, Sigma males are wired differently. They're not out here trying to impress anyone, not women, not society, not even other men. That's why they often come across as reserved, distant, or even hard to read. But make no mistake, this isn't about insecurity or social awkwardness. It's about being authentic. You see, the average guy might feel the need to turn on the charm, inflate his stories, or compete for attention in a room. Not the Sigma. He walks in, reads the energy, and doesn't say a word unless there's something worth saying. He knows that silence can be more powerful than a speech. And here's where it gets interesting. Women often interpret this calm detachment as shyness. But it's not. It's raw, unapologetic authenticity. A Sigma male isn't trying to be liked. He's just being. And that's powerful. Why? Because according to social psychology, authenticity builds trust and attraction more than scripted charm ever could. In fact, studies show that people who display are perceived as more trustworthy and confident. That's exactly what Sigma males embody. They don't chase approval, and that unbothered vibe makes them stand out in a world full of people trying too hard. Think of it this way. A Sigma is like the uncut diamond, rare, unpolished, but undeniably valuable. His confidence doesn't scream, it whispers. It's not about making a scene, it's about mastering his scene. So when a woman mistakes his authenticity for being shy, it's often because she's used to men performing. She expects the usual games, the flirty banter, the peacocking. But the Sigma gives her something unexpected. Truth. And that truth can be disarming. He doesn't smile because he smiles when he doesn't talk just to fill the silence. He lets the silence speak. This is the Sigma way, stoic, grounded, and always authentic. So if you're watching this and wondering why Sigma males act the way they do, know this, it's not about being shy, it's about being real in a world addicted to fake. Point 4, they fear wasting energy. Conversations take energy, and for Sigma males, that energy is sacred. Unlike extroverts who thrive on constant interaction or alpha males who dominate conversations for status, Sigmas operate on a more selective frequency. Every word, every glance, every gesture, it all costs mental bandwidth. That's why small talk feels like torture to them. Discussing the weather, painful. Shallow gossip, forget it. For Sigmas, conversations need purpose. If the dialogue doesn't engage their mind or spirit, it's not worth their time. This energy conservation isn't a flaw, it's a feature. Sigmas are what psychologists might call high-reactive introverts. Their brains are more sensitive to external stimuli, meaning they can become mentally drained faster than others in high social environments. But this also makes them more introspective, observant and precise in their communication. They're not antisocial, they're selectively social. Now let's talk about flirting. For most people, flirting is playful, fun, and light. For a Sigma male, it's a chess match. It must be mentally stimulating. A woman throwing out tired pickup lines or leaning on surface-level charm won't even make a dent. But someone who challenges his mind, drops an unexpected philosophical question, shares a clever insight, or engages in deep intellectual banter, now you have his attention. Sigmas are energy misers, but not in a stingy way. They're strategic. They invest where they see long-term value. Whether it's business, friendship, or romance, they're looking for depth, substance, and alignment. This is why they often seem uninterested or aloof. It's not rudeness, it's discernment. Unless a woman radiates authenticity and depth, a Sigma is more likely to respond with a quiet nod, a knowing smirk, and walk away. No drama, no games, just quiet self-respect. This behavior often mystifies others, But that's part of the Sigma's enigma. He doesn't chase attention or approval. He values meaningful connection over casual conversation, presence over performance, quality over quantity. And that's why Sigmas don't just talk, they communicate with purpose. Point 5, they're deep thinkers, not smooth talkers. Sigmas live in their heads. They're not just wandering through life reacting to everything like most people, they're observing, analyzing, and reflecting. Think of them as modern-day philosophers in hoodies. While others are out chasing attention or social validation, Sigma males are sitting back, sipping coffee, and mentally dissecting the human condition. This mental depth isn't just quirky, it's powerful. Studies in psychology show that introspective individuals often score high in traits like openness to experience and analytical thinking. They're drawn to abstract ideas, existential questions, and deep self-awareness. That's the Sigma mindset in a nutshell. They're not thinking about what outfit will impress someone at a party. They're thinking about the meaning of free will or how time might just be a human illusion. This constant internal dialogue can make them appear aloof, even emotionally unavailable. But here's where it gets interesting. People are magnetically drawn to mystery. And Sigma males, intentionally or not, embody that mystery. You can't read them easily. You don't know what they're really thinking. And that unpredictability, it sparks curiosity. It's the same reason we're drawn to characters like Sherlock Holmes, John Wick, or even Batman. They're not oversharers, they're enigmatic. And in that silence, people project their own fascinations. Neurologically speaking, humans are wired to solve puzzles. So when someone doesn't give you all the pieces, like a Sigma male, you're compelled to dig deeper. That's the real secret. Sigmas don't chase attention, but they get it anyway because mystery is irresistible. And it's not just about being quiet, it's the calm, controlled demeanor, the ability to detach from drama, the way they value logic over impulse. In a world that moves at breakneck speed and rewards noise, a man who moves quietly but thinks deeply stands out like a lighthouse in a storm. So next time you see that guy sitting alone, headphones in, eyes slightly distant, don't assume he's shy. He's probably just wrestling with an idea that could change his life, or yours. Sigmas don't live on the surface, they live in the depths. And in those depths, they become unforgettable. Point 6, they know their presence speaks louder. While others rely on flashy talk or loud bravado, Sigma males operate on a completely different wavelength. They don't need to be the loudest voice in the room because their presence alone does the talking. Walk into a room with a Sigma and you'll notice the shift. People become curious, intrigued, and sometimes even a little intimidated. That's not by accident, it's by design. You see, Sigmas have mastered what psychologists call non-verbal dominance. Studies in body language show that people who maintain calm eye contact, minimal yet purposeful movement, and confident posture are often perceived as more powerful, even when they say nothing. And that's the Sigma specialty. While the Alpha is busy trying to impress everyone with his resume, the Sigma just sips his drink, quietly observing, calculating, and listening. That mystery, it's magnetic, especially to women. Why? Because human attraction is deeply rooted in curiosity. The Zeigarnik effect, a psychological phenomenon, explains that people remember incomplete stories better than completed ones. In other words, when a man doesn't spill all the details about himself, people, especially women, feel compelled to complete the story. Sigmas leverage this naturally. They don't overshare, they don't need validation. And that's exactly what makes them so irresistible. They drop breadcrumbs, not a buffet. And when they speak, their words carry weight. It's not that Sigmas are shy, it's that they choose silence strategically. Silence is power when used right. In fact, military interrogation experts note that those who talk the least often hold the most power in the room. Sigmas embody this truth in every social setting. Here's the kicker. This isn't an act. Sigma males don't do this for show. It's who they are. They value autonomy, inner peace, and authenticity. So while others are chasing attention, Sigmas are busy building their minds, pursuing passions, or simply enjoying the moment without needing the spotlight. The result? People can't help but notice. Women especially are drawn to the mystery, the depth, the quiet confidence. They wonder, who that guy? What's his story? And that's the Sigma magic. No showboating, no gimmicks, just raw presence, quiet control, and an energy that can't be faked. Now that is how you leave a lasting impression without saying a word. Point 7. Independence is their language. A Sigma doesn't need a woman to complete him. That's not arrogance, that's clarity. In a world that constantly pushes the narrative that you're incomplete without a partner, the Sigma male stands out like a lighthouse in a storm. His mindset isn't anti-love, anti-woman, or anti-connection. In fact, he's open to relationships, but only the kind that add value, not the kind that define his worth. This attitude is often misunderstood. Society is used to seeing men chase validation through romantic attention. We've all seen the tropes: the man who feels whole only after winning over the woman, or the guy who spirals when a relationship ends. But the Sigma male breaks that mold entirely. His identity is not anchored in who loves him, but in who he when he's alone. That level of emotional independence is powerful. Psychologically, this ties into the concept of a term coined by family therapist Dr. Murray Bowen. It refers to a person's ability to maintain their sense of self, even in close relationships. Sigmas are masters of this. They can love deeply without losing themselves. They can commit without becoming codependent. Because they don't seek constant approval, they often appear distant or shy. But here's the truth: it's not shyness. It's intentional space, it's observation, it's quiet strength. While others are busy trying to impress, the Sigma is scanning the environment, choosing whether wants to engage. This is where the confusion happens. To the untrained eye, his vibe may look like aloofness or social awkwardness, but in reality, it's a quiet confidence that doesn't scream for attention. There's a reason why women are often intrigued by this kind of man. It's not because he's playing games, it's because he's authentic, not chasing, not manipulating, just existing powerfully within his own frame. In psychological terms, he has what's called the belief that he controls his own destiny, not external forces or people. A Sigma male doesn't shut the door on love, but he doesn't need love to feel whole. He welcomes it when it's real, mutual, and empowering, not when it's based on filling emotional voids. So next time you see a man who isn't chasing, who isn't over-explaining, and who seems content in his solitude, understand this: he's not missing anything. He's already complete. And that in itself is rare and magnetic. Point 8, social anxiety? Social precision. It's not about fear of people, it's about filtering them. You see, Sigma males aren't socially anxious, they're socially selective. There's a big difference. While the world might mistake their quiet demeanor for shyness or introversion, what's really going on is something far more intentional: filtering. Sigmas don't walk into a room looking to impress everyone. They walk in observing, evaluating, measuring the energy of the space. They're asking themselves, who here actually deserves my attention? Because for Sigmas, attention is currency, and they don't spend it on just anyone. Psychologists refer to this trait as a preference for meaningful interaction over meaningless chatter. According to studies, people with this trait are not antisocial. In fact, they often score high in emotional intelligence. They simply prefer quality over quantity when it comes to human connection. Crowds don't intimidate Sigmas. They just don't excite them. They're not there to be seen. They're there to see who's worth seeing. This is where the myth of shyness gets shattered. True shyness is rooted in fear of judgment or rejection. But Sigma behavior isn't driven by fear, it's driven by discernment. They're like human BS detectors, tuned into authenticity and instantly repelled by superficiality. In a world obsessed with networking and being liked, the Sigma flips the script. They don't chase attention, they filter noise. They don't need constant validation, they need meaningful connection. And if they don't find it, they're perfectly fine walking away in silence. So the next time a Sigma male seems distant, know this: it's not that they're hiding, they're filtering. And if you pass that filter, congratulations. You've just been seen by someone who sees through everything. Sigmas, don't let society fool you into thinking being reserved is a flaw. In a culture obsessed with constant chatter, your silence signals strength. Psychologists have found that those who speak less often process thoughts more deeply, so your quiet isn't awkward, it's powerful. While the world clings to superficial validation, your authenticity sets you apart. And when others chase shallow attention, you wait for something real. That's not shyness. That's emotional intelligence. That's Sigma. So next time someone asks, "Why are you so quiet around women?" just smirk. You're not hiding, you're observing. And that's what gives you the edge. They sense your presence even if they don't express it. You walk into a room and something shifts. Heads turn. Not always in obvious ways, but with curiosity. Why? Because your presence echoes. It doesn't need to shout, boast, or put on a show, it simply is. That's the quiet dominance of a Sigma male. There is no noise from real electricity. It has no need for attention. Rather, it functions as a concentrated shadow, constant, serene, and unflinching. The Sigma attracts the attention effortlessly in contrast to the Alpha who demands it. He is just unforgettable. He doesn't make an effort to stand out. The majority of Sigma men leave a trail without noticing. They are preoccupied, focused on the objective, not the mirror. Not because they are proud. They don't dress to impress, they dress to serve. It matters when they speak, and they do so when called upon. They walk alone, and the throng follows, not the other way around. You may have been called mysterious, distant, or even intimidating, but that's not a weakness, it's your edge. Your silence speaks volumes. You don't chase clout, you don't explain yourself. And in a world obsessed with validation, your self-assurance is magnetic. Psychologically, people are drawn to mystery. The brain is hardwired to seek closure, so when someone doesn't reveal everything, others become fascinated. That's you, calm in chaos. Listening when others shout, sure of yourself without needing a fan club. Attraction isn't always about charm or charisma. Sometimes it's about restraint, confidence, purpose. So if people seem nervous around you, if they can't stop looking your way, if they remember you even after just one conversation, it's not by accident. You're not invisible, you're undeniable, you're a Sigma male, and that changes everything. Now let's dive deeper into what makes you truly one of a kind. Number one, he's unbothered by validation, and that's magnetic. Sigmas are a fascinating breed of men, quiet, independent, and unapologetically themselves. Unlike alphas who dominate with charisma or betas who seek validation, Sigma males operate outside the traditional social hierarchy. They're not on the hunt for likes, status, or clout. Their approval comes from within. They don't curate their lives to fit someone else's expectations. No filters, no performance. A Sigma can go an entire day without posting a thing online and still make an impact wherever he goes. Why? Because authenticity is magnetic. In a world addicted to attention, indifference is powerful. It's the paradox of presence. When you're not trying to be seen, people can't help but notice you. Psychologically, this ties into something called the research, shows that people are more attractive when they appear competent, but aren't trying to be perfect. Sigmas embody this effortlessly. They're good at what they do, but they don't boast about it. They walk into a room not to impress, but to observe, and in doing so, they often become the focus. Think of the Sigma as the modern-day lone wolf. He dresses for comfort, not attention. He's likely wearing a plain t-shirt and worn boots, rather than designer sneakers, but it's the calm, calculated confidence in his demeanor that grabs attention. He may not say much, but his silence speaks volumes. It's not awkward, it's intentional. And here's where it gets interesting. When people notice someone who doesn't seem to care whether they're noticed or not, curiosity takes over. Who is that guy, they wonder, and without a word, the Sigma has captivated the room. So if you're a Sigma and you've ever felt eyes on you for no reason, now you know. It's because you're not trying. That's your superpower. In a world obsessed with applause, the Sigma walks away from the stage and ends up owning it anyway. Not by force, not by performance, but simply by being real. Number two, he keeps his circle tight, and that sparks intrigue. Most people today seem to treat their lives like a 24/7 reality show. They share every meal, every mood, every mundane detail on social media as if the world is entitled to a live stream of their thoughts. But Sigma males, they're cut from a different cloth. They move in silence, and that silence speaks volumes. A Sigma male doesn't need validation from likes, shares, or comments. He understands that privacy is power. Rather than showcasing every achievement or setback, he chooses what to reveal and when. This intentional restraint isn't about being secretive, it's about being strategic. Psychologists have found that people who are more reserved tend to project an air of control and mystery, which often makes them more intriguing to others. Here's the thing. When a man isn't constantly announcing his goals, his relationships, or his whereabouts, he becomes a puzzle. And humans are wired to solve puzzles. The brain actually releases dopamine, the curiosity chemical, when we encounter something mysterious or unpredictable. So when a Sigma male walks into a room and doesn't overshare, it triggers intrigue. People wonder, who is he? What's his story? That curiosity becomes the seed of attraction. Moreover, Sigmas are selective with their energy. They don't just give access to anyone. This exclusivity signals value. In economics, scarcity increases worth. The less you see or hear from someone, the more you want to know about them. It's the same principle that luxury brands use. Limited access creates high demand. A Sigma male unknowingly uses this same psychology in social dynamics, and let's not forget the element of self-respect. By keeping his life private, the Sigma male avoids unnecessary drama, protects his peace, and stays focused on what truly matters. He doesn't post to impress. He lives to express, on his own terms. In a world obsessed with oversharing, the Sigma's silence isn't empty, it's magnetic. His mystery doesn't come from pretending to be deep, it comes from living with depth. Number 3, he radiates quiet confidence, not loud ego. There's something magnetic about a man who doesn't need to shout to be noticed. Enter the Sigma male, the embodiment of quiet confidence. Unlike alpha males who thrive on dominance and attention, Sigma males operate from a different frequency. Their power lies in subtlety, in control, in a presence that doesn't demand attention but commands it nonetheless. Psychologically speaking, quiet confidence stems from high self-efficacy, a belief in one's own ability to handle life without validation. According to psychologist Albert Bandura's social cognitive theory, people with high self-efficacy exhibit calmness under pressure, make deliberate decisions, and trust their inner compass. That's Sigma energy. You can see it in how they move. Their body language is composed, purposeful, no frantic gestures or nervous tics. Whether they're walking into a room or simply sitting alone in a cafe, there's an ease about them that says, I don't need to prove anything to you. That calm assurance disrupts the chaos around them, and then there's their mastery of silence. While others may rush to fill awkward gaps in conversation, Sigma males are perfectly comfortable with stillness. In fact, they silence strategically. Studies in communication psychology suggest that people who embrace silence are perceived as more confident, emotionally stable, and intelligent. When Sigma males speak, it's not to be heard, it's to be understood. Their words carry weight because they're measured, intentional, and often reveal deep insight. This kind of composure in social settings doesn't just make an impression, it creates curiosity. People want to know more about them. Women, especially, are drawn to this quiet power. It's mysterious. It feels safe and intriguing all at once. That unspoken confidence makes others feel like they're in the presence of someone who's figured things out. So, no, Sigma males don't need the spotlight. They're the spotlight, and it's not because they're loud, it's because that's the kind of confidence that can't be faked. It's the kind that's felt in the silence, in the glance, in the simple way they carry themselves. Confidence is sexy. But quiet confidence? That changes the whole room. Number 4, he dresses for himself, not the crowd. Sigmas don't follow fashion trends, they create their own. You won't find them obsessing over the latest designer drops or flipping through fashion magazines for validation. A Sigma male might be rocking a plain black t-shirt, rugged boots, and a worn-out jacket, and somehow still look like he walked straight out of a style magazine. But here's the question, why? Because true style isn't about you wear, it's about you wear it. Confidence is the cornerstone of a Sigma male's appearance. Studies in social psychology have consistently shown that people respond more positively to those who exhibit strong, grounded body language. That's what sets a Sigma apart. His stride has purpose, his posture is relaxed but assured. He doesn't fidget, he doesn't seek the camera, and he never overdresses to impress. And yet, somehow everyone notices him when he walks into a room. This is where the science of perception comes in. Research shows that authenticity is magnetic. When someone isn't trying to impress or conform, their energy becomes unique, and others pick up on it. That's the Sigma edge. They're not dressing for approval, they're dressing for comfort, utility, and personal expression. This isn't rebellion, it's freedom. Fashion trends are often dictated by what the masses follow. But Sigmas, they observe, they decode, and then they do the opposite. They know that when you chase trends, you become a copy of someone else's idea. But when you dress with intention and individuality, you send a message that says, I know who I am. And that message is far more attractive than any name brand logo. Sigmas make worn denim and scuffed boots look iconic, not because the clothes are expensive, but because they wear them like armor. They're not trying to fit into society's ever-changing standards. In fact, they're usually ahead of them. People eventually catch up to what Sigmas were already doing years ago. So here's the truth. You don't need flashy brands or extravagant outfits to look powerful. What you need is confidence, authenticity, and the courage to dress for yourself. Because real style doesn't follow the rules, it rewrites them. And that's what Sigma males do best. Number 5, he's passionate about something bigger than himself. A Sigma male doesn't waste time. He's not scrolling endlessly or getting caught up in meaningless gossip. He's building, creating, learning, exploring, whether it's mastering a new skill, launching a business, or planning his next solo travel adventure. A Sigma operates with one clear focus, progress, and while others chase validation, he chases growth. This relentless pursuit of purpose isn't just admirable, it's magnetic. Studies in psychology have shown that individuals with a strong sense of direction and self-discipline are perceived as more attractive. Why? Because passion gives life color. It gives structure to chaos and transforms an ordinary life into an extraordinary mission. Think about it. People are naturally drawn to energy. When you meet someone deeply immersed in a goal, whether it's writing a novel, building a tech startup, or becoming a martial arts expert, you can there drive even if they don't say a word about it. That's the Sigma effect. He doesn't have to shout his achievements. His presence whispers purpose. This quiet determination also taps into a deep psychological principle called. It states that people are most fulfilled when they feel autonomous, competent, and connected to a meaningful goal. Sigma males embody this. They don't follow trends, they create paths. They're not distracted by the noise because they're tuned into their own frequency. So if you're out there grinding in silence, sipping your coffee alone while mapping out your future, understand this. You're not being overlooked. You're becoming. You're showing the world what it looks like to live with intentionality. And that, without trying, becomes one of your most attractive traits. Even when the results haven't fully materialized yet, your consistency speaks louder than any flashy lifestyle. The world may not applaud you yet, but they notice. Energy doesn't lie. People sense when someone is on a mission, so keep building, keep learning, keep exploring. Because in a world full of distractions, the man with purpose stands out without even trying. Number 6. He's emotionally independent, but emotionally intelligent. Let's get real. In a world where drama is glorified and emotional outbursts go viral, staying calm and collected isn't just rare, it's practically heroic. Sigma males, often misunderstood as loners or emotionally detached, actually possess one of the most powerful traits a man can have. Emotional intelligence paired with emotional independence. Let's break it down. Sigma males don't need constant reassurance or emotional validation from others. They've done the inner work. This doesn't mean they're ice cold or shut off from the world. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Studies in psychology have shown that emotionally intelligent individuals are more empathetic, better communicators, and more resilient under stress. Sigma males fall right into that category. They're not just aware of their own emotions, they're tuned into others as well. The key difference, they don't let those emotions rule them. While others spiral into heated arguments or toxic cycles, Sigma males choose composure. When something goes wrong, they don't explode, they reflect. When faced with emotional manipulation, they don't play the game, they step out of the ring. This isn't detachment, it's discipline. In relationships, this makes them incredibly attractive. Why? Because emotional control brings a deep sense of safety. It means no petty fights over imagined slights, no wild mood swings, no codependence, just peace. A Sigma male doesn't lose himself to gain someone else. He sets boundaries, he respects others' space and expects the same in return. In today's emotionally chaotic society, this level of groundedness is like a breath of fresh air. It signals strength, not in the loud, aggressive way, but in the quiet confidence of someone who knows who he is. It's no surprise that emotional stability ranks among the top traits women find attractive, according to research published in. So, when a Sigma male walks into a room, calm and self-assured, people notice. Not because he's trying to impress anyone, but because in a world full of emotional noise, he's mastered the art of internal peace. And that's a rare superpower. Number 7, he doesn't chase, he attracts. Sigmas don't chase validation. And ironically, that's exactly why they get pursued. Unlike most men who are constantly trying to impress, signal status, or gain approval, the Sigma male moves to the rhythm of his own inner compass. He's not sliding into DMs with corny lines, trying to outshine other guys in the room, or desperately seeking someone's attention. He shows up fully present, fully himself, and that kind of quiet confidence creates a gravitational pull that's hard to resist. It's basic human psychology. We're wired to value what's scarce, and in a world overflowing with people shouting, "Look at me," the one who remains silent and secure in himself stands out. Sigmas are rare. They're not trying to be liked, they're just being authentic. And that authenticity, it's magnetic. This isn't just some trendy internet persona. Studies in behavioral psychology confirm that people who appear self-assured and non-needy are perceived as more attractive. Why? Because they radiate independence and self-worth. Two traits that signal emotional security and strength. It's the exact opposite of the pick-me energy that turns people off. Women pick up on this fast. When a man doesn't need them for validation, it flips the script. He's not giving off desperation. He's not playing games. He's not operating from lack. Instead, he's grounded, mysterious, and centered, and that's alluring. The Sigma doesn't chase, and that's what makes him a prize. Other men admire it too, sometimes with envy. They wonder how he draws attention without trying, how he commands a room without saying much. But the truth is, it's not about saying the right thing. It's about the right thing. That quiet confidence, that inner calm, it speaks louder than words ever could. Sigmas don't walk into a room needing approval. They walk in already owning who they are. That's what makes them different. That's what makes them powerful. And that's why they get pursued. You see, real attraction isn't about tricks or tactics. It's about presence. It's about being so grounded in yourself that people feel better just being around you. That kind of presence can't be faked. It's built through self-mastery, purpose, and independence. So if you're wondering why Sigmas draw attention like a magnet, it's simple. When you're the guy who doesn't need attention, you become the one who gets it. And that, my friend, is the Sigma advantage. Number 8, he's focused on growth, not approval. While others are stuck in endless loops of comparison and seeking validation, the Sigma male is on a completely different trajectory. He's evolving. Instead of chasing clout or approval, the Sigma turns inward. He reads books not just for entertainment, but to expand his mind. He reflects deeply on life, his choices, and his values. He levels up, mentally, emotionally, and even physically, not for attention, but for growth. He doesn't waste energy asking, "Will this make people like me?" His focus is sharper. "Will this make me better?" That question becomes his compass. This mindset is rare and powerful. Psychologists call it intrinsic motivation, the internal drive to grow without relying on outside approval. Studies show people who are intrinsically motivated are more creative, more disciplined, and more fulfilled long-term. Sigma males embody this deeply. They're not driven by trends or peer pressure. They're guided by vision and purpose. This self-mastery is attractive on a primal level. Evolutionary psychology tells us that confidence, independence, and self-sufficiency signal high value in a social group. These traits communicate leadership potential, emotional stability, and long-term resilience. That's why people are drawn to the Sigma male, even if they don't know why. So if you've ever noticed people getting quiet around you, acting defensive, or even becoming strangely curious, it's not a coincidence. They sense something different, something deeper, something powerful. It's the presence of a man who's not trying to impress anyone because he's already impressed himself. Sigma males don't seek the spotlight, but the spotlight often ends up finding them. Sigmas, you are far more attractive than you give yourself credit for, not because you're trying to be, but because you're not. Your silence, your strength, your solitude, it all adds to your mystique. Keep walking your own path. Keep building your life on your terms. The right ones will notice, not because you shouted, but because you showed. So if this video sparked something inside you, hit that like button, subscribe, and join this powerful Sigma community. Apply these truths to your own journey and live the kind of life that attracts everything you need without begging for it. Stay true and stay Sigma. Like a falcon scolding the wind for not soaring high enough, Sigma males are infuriated by wasted potential. Watching a mind that refuses to stretch its wings like a luxury car stuck in first gear feels like witnessing a masterpiece left unfinished. Sigmas are driven by an insatiable curiosity, always dissecting the world's complexities, never settling for mediocrity. Their silence is not emptiness, but the quiet storm of an intellect unwilling to be lulled by the ordinary. One of the greatest frustrations for Sigma males is mindless small talk. They see it as a roadblock to deeper, more meaningful conversations. Instead of the superficial, they crave intellectual challenges that push the boundaries of their thinking. This is because Sigmas thrive on growth, whether in knowledge, experience, or understanding. Mediocrity is another pet peeve. It's like nails on a chalkboard for a Sigma. They detest when people choose comfort over progress, fearing stagnation more than failure. Studies have shown that high-achieving individuals often possess a strong growth mindset, always pushing themselves and others to improve. Sigmas embody this fully, seeking continuous self-improvement and expecting the same from those around them. They're also frustrated by the herd mentality. Conformity suffocates them. Like the falcon soaring alone, Sigmas cherish their independence and value those who stand out. They understand that innovation and creativity often come from the fringe, not the center. This intensity can be overwhelming to others, but for Sigmas, it's simply who they are. They see the world as a complex puzzle, each piece waiting to be understood and each challenge an opportunity to sharpen their skills. These 8 frustrations reveal not just the mind of a Sigma, but the relentless pursuit of excellence that defines them. Number 1, small talk and mindless chatter. Sigmas, let's be real, small talk is like chewing stale gum. At first it might have a hint of flavor, but it quickly fades into something tasteless and repetitive. While most people find comfort in chatting about the weather or who got eliminated from the latest reality show, you're left wondering, why are we even talking about this? Here's the interesting part. You're wired for more. Your brain isn't content with skimming the surface. Studies in psychology show that introverted or introspective personalities often find superficial conversations draining because their energy is drawn to deeper, more complex ideas. You're driven by a hunger for meaning, conversations that challenge your mind and enrich your soul. When you're stuck in endless chit-chat about topics you don't care about, it can feel like a waste of your energy. You value authenticity and substance. Researchers have found that people who prefer deep conversations experience higher levels of satisfaction and even a stronger sense of purpose. It's not about being rude or dismissive, it's about aligning with what resonates with you. Of course, there's a time and place for a quick greeting or friendly exchange. Social etiquette matters, and you know that. But your natural tendency is to skip the small talk and get straight to what's important, whether it's discussing a new idea, sharing a meaningful experience, or debating something that actually matters. For you, time isn't just a ticking clock. It's your most valuable resource, and you're careful about where you invest it. This isn't just a personality quirk, it's a sign of self-awareness. It shows you know what feeds your mind and soul, and you're not afraid to honor that. In a world that often prioritizes superficial connections, your desire for depth makes you refreshingly real and even magnetic to those who value substance over fluff. So the next time someone tries to rope you into weather updates or celebrity gossip, remember this. It's not your scene, and that's perfectly okay. Embrace it. It's this very trait that sets you apart in a world of chatterboxes. You're not just avoiding small talk, you're investing your energy in what truly matters. Number 2, forced socializing and group dynamics. Here's another thing that ruffles the feathers of every Sigma male: forced socializing. Group dinners, team-building exercises, or awkward birthday parties for that guy from accounting you barely know. Oh boy, let the eye-rolling begin. Let's clear something up right away. Sigmas don't hate people. They're not misanthropes or snobs. They just don't appreciate being herded into social events that feel scripted and superficial. When the invitation says mandatory fun, your inner voice practically yells, "No thanks, I'll pass." The real frustration here comes from a clash between authenticity and social expectations. Research has shown that forced socializing often leads to cognitive dissonance, when your true feelings conflict with the outward behaviors you're pressured to show. So, while everyone else might be laughing at forced jokes and politely nibbling on cupcakes, you're mentally somewhere else, thinking about your goals, your next big idea, or that captivating book on your nightstand. Sigmas thrive in authentic social connections. if there's a genuine spark of curiosity or a conversation that delves beneath the surface. You're engaged and present. But if it's all small talk and people clamoring for attention, it just feels like noise. Studies on introversion support this. Meaningful conversations are far more energizing for those with introspective tendencies. Let's talk about group dynamics for a moment. In almost every group, there's someone strutting around trying to be the alpha, the loudest voice in the room. As a Sigma, you're not here for the peacocking. You know that real confidence doesn't need a microphone. This understanding of status dynamics is rooted in the psychology of social hierarchies, where true leaders don't need to shout to be heard. That's why you gravitate toward one-on-one interactions or solo pursuits. It's not about avoiding people. It's about investing your energy where it feels real. You're comfortable in your own skin, so you don't feel the need to prove yourself through forced conversations. So the next time an invitation to the mandatory fun event lands in your inbox, don't sweat it. Smile politely, maybe show up if you're in the mood, but remember, it's no big deal if you skip it. The Sigma male doesn't conform to hollow expectations. You're the architect of your own time, the master of your thoughts. And that's exactly how you like it. Number 3, mindless obedience and authority for authority's sake. Nothing gets under a Sigma's skin quite like someone barking orders just because they can. Blind obedience, no thanks. Authority without substance, that's a hard pass. Sigmas thrive on logic and authenticity. If a rule makes sense, they're likely to follow it. But if it's arbitrary, just a way for someone to flex their control, it grates on that independent spirit. And here's the kicker. This isn't about being rebellious for rebellion's sake. It's about integrity. Sigmas want to operate in environments that reward ideas, not just titles. You respect leaders who earn their position through competence, not those who cling to it with an iron grip. This skepticism of empty authority dates back to human nature. Studies in psychology show that humans generally obey authority figures, but Sigmas stand apart because they question it. In the famous Milgram experiment, most people followed orders even when they felt wrong about it, simply because an authority figure told them to. But Sigmas, they're the ones more likely to pause and ask, does this really make sense? Am I going to compromise my principles for someone else's ego trip? This mindset shows up in every part of life, from classrooms to workplaces to social circles. You don't just accept something because it's always been done that way. You want to see the bigger picture, to understand the why behind every rule. It's why office hierarchies can feel stifling for you. Titles don't impress you, ideas do. Your refusal to bow down to baseless commands can ruffle feathers. Some might call you a lone wolf, but the truth is you're simply not wired to play games that don't align with your values. And that's a strength, not a weakness. In fact, history is full of examples of those who challenged authority and made a difference. Think of Galileo, who refused to accept the status quo of the universe, or Rosa Parks, who defied unjust rules on a bus in Montgomery. So the next time you're faced with senseless authority, remember this. Your skepticism is a gift. It allows you to stay true to your values, to think critically and to walk your own path, like the true Sigma you are. Number 4, shallow validation and social media clout. Sigmas, let's dive deep into a topic that truly rattles your cage. The exhausting pursuit of likes, followers, and empty praise. In today's digital playground, everyone's busy curating a highlight reel. It's a world of filters, hashtags, and viral challenges designed to snatch your attention and your sense of self. But here's the catch. You see right through the masquerade. For you, those shiny numbers, likes, comments, shares, don't hold any real weight. They're just superficial echoes in a world already bursting at the seams with noise. Studies have shown that over 210 million people globally are addicted to social media. That's a staggering number, and it's easy to see why. Dopamine spikes with every notification, creating a cycle that's hard to break. But not for you. You understand that the rush of likes is fleeting, a sugar high for the soul. Real confidence, as you know, comes from within. This is why you're not constantly checking your phone for updates or tirelessly crafting that perfect selfie. Instead, you're out there living, hiking that mountain, building that project, reading that book. You're about experiences, not illusions. When others are editing their photos for that elusive, perfect look, you're honing your skills, feeding your mind, and exploring your passions. That's the Sigma way. You know that trends come and go. Remember the ice bucket challenge, the mannequin challenge? Those were fun, but they faded fast, and so will today's viral moment. But self-respect, that's a classic. It's the bedrock of everything you do. You also recognize that external validation is a fickle friend. One day you're up, the next you're invisible. That's no foundation for a fulfilling life, so you've chosen a different path. One where authenticity trumps applause and depth beats surface level likes. In the end, Sigmas, you're not here to impress the world. You're here to explore it, to grow, and to live boldly and honestly. Let the others play the numbers game. You've got your own journey, no filters required. That's not just how you roll, that's how you thrive. Number 5, drama and gossip. Let's be honest, gossip and drama are like reality TV in real life. And for a Sigma male, it's not just boring, it's downright irritating. Sigmas have a different outlook on life. They're independent thinkers, often described as lone wolves. Unlike social butterflies who thrive on chatter, Sigmas prefer a quieter, more introspective approach. They understand that every minute spent in someone else's drama is a minute stolen from their purpose. Here's the thing, gossip is an ancient pastime. Studies show that up to 65% of our daily conversations involve gossip. But for Sigmas, this statistic is irrelevant. They're not interested in hearsay. Instead, they're driven by curiosity, creativity, and personal growth. Think of drama as emotional junk food. It gives a quick rush of excitement, like a sugar high, but ultimately leaves you feeling empty. Sigmas crave something more nutritious, conversations about ideas, personal goals, or deep questions about life. When others are busy dissecting the latest scandal, Sigmas are already 2 steps ahead. They're working on a new skill, exploring an interest, or simply enjoying solitude. There's a sense of calm in their refusal to be pulled into the chaos. And it's not because they're antisocial. In fact, they can be excellent listeners and conversationalists when the topic has depth and meaning. But gossip? It's just noise. Drama, it's a vacuum for their time and energy. Sigmas also understand that engaging in drama isn't just a waste, it's a trap. It pulls you into cycles of negativity and superficial thinking. When someone tries to rope them in with juicy rumors, Sigmas are like a ghost slipping through a crowded room, uninterested and unbothered. This refusal to engage speaks volumes. It's not about being aloof, it's about guarding their time and mental space like a sacred treasure. While others get swept up in the waves of gossip, Sigmas stand firm like a lighthouse, focused on their path. So here's the takeaway. Stay out of the drama. Let the chatter fade. Focus on what truly matters, your mission, your passions, and your peace. Because at the end of the day, a Sigma's silence speaks louder than 1,000 rumors. Number 6, superficial success metrics. The world has a funny way of measuring success, doesn't it? Flashy cars, corner offices, and designer labels, these are the yardsticks society uses to declare who's made it. But for Sigma males, these status symbols just don't hold much weight. Sigmas don't need the latest sports car or a corner office with a view to feel accomplished. They're driven by a deeper, more authentic idea of success. Sigmas understand that true success is measured internally. It's about growth, mastery, and resilience. Studies in positive psychology even show that individuals who focus on intrinsic goals, like personal development and meaningful experiences, report higher levels of satisfaction and happiness compared to those who chase external markers of success. For a Sigma, life isn't about collecting shiny trophies. It's about forging your own path and living life on your terms. You define your own metrics, skills you've gained, challenges you've conquered, and the positive impact you've made. These internal victories can't be bought, and they can't be taken away. This mindset often leaves people puzzled. They see your quiet confidence and your refusal to join the race for the biggest house or the fanciest job title. They ask, why don't you want what everyone else wants? And your answer is clear. Because those things don't define who I am. This approach is deeply rooted in self-determination theory, which emphasizes autonomy and competence as critical factors for genuine fulfillment. Sigmas naturally embody this theory. They don't follow the crowd, they follow their inner compass. Sigmas want to be remembered for their character, wisdom, and independence, not for the brand of their watch or the size of their paycheck. They'd rather build a legacy of integrity and authenticity than chase superficial applause. So keep your focus sharp, Sigma. Let the world chase its shiny illusions. You're on a different journey, one that's quieter but infinitely richer. It's a journey towards true fulfillment and authentic success. Because in the end, it's not the size of your house or the label on your clothes that matters. It's the size of your spirit and the impact you leave behind. Number 7, groupthink and herd mentality. If there's one thing that really drives Sigma males crazy, it's groupthink. That pressure for everyone to think alike, agree, and just follow the crowd without questioning. Sigmas are wired differently. They prize their independence and unique perspective above almost anything else. The idea of blindly following trends or popular opinions, it feels like a cage closing in. Groupthink isn't just annoying, it's actually a real barrier to creativity and innovation. Psychologists define groupthink as a psychological phenomenon where the desire for harmony or conformity in a group leads to irrational or dysfunctional decision-making. When everyone just nods along, new ideas don't get a chance to breathe. Instead, conformity takes over, and the spark that makes each person unique gets snuffed out. For a Sigma, that's suffocating. That's why Sigmas tend to walk their own path. They're the lone wolves, not because they dislike others, but because they value their own vision and aren't afraid to go against the grain. This independent streak is what often makes Sigmas natural innovators. They spot opportunities and solutions that others miss because they aren't distracted by the noise of consensus or the fear of standing out. But here's the catch. This strong independence can sometimes make Sigmas seem misunderstood. People often expect conformity, following the script of social norms, and when Sigmas don't comply, they might be labeled as aloof, difficult, or even rebellious. This misunderstanding isn't surprising because society tends to reward those who fit in rather than those who challenge the status quo. The truth is, Sigmas aren't difficult. They're simply true to themselves. They refuse to sacrifice their principles or creativity just to fit into a mold. Their refusal to compromise is a powerful strength, not a flaw. So for all the Sigmas out there, here's the message. Your independent mind is your greatest asset. It fuels your creativity, innovation, and authenticity. Don't let the herd's noise drown out your unique voice. Stand firm, trust your vision, and keep blazing your own trail. The world needs your fresh perspective. Number 8, lack of authenticity and realness. One thing that really sets Sigma males apart is their intense sensitivity to anything fake or insincere. It's not just a preference, it's a fundamental part of who they are. Authenticity is their currency, and it's non-negotiable. Why does this matter so much to Sigmas? Well, think about it. In today's world, where social media highlights highlight reels and everyone's curating their best selves, it's easy to get lost in a sea of masks and facades. But Sigmas see right through all that. They have this innate radar for detecting when someone is pretending to be something they're not, or when a situation feels staged and superficial. When a Sigma senses this kind of fake energy, it's like a switch flips in their brain. Suddenly interest fades. They disengage. Why waste energy on something that's not real? For Sigmas, genuine connection is the ultimate goal, not surface-level interactions or hollow performances. Research in psychology backs this up. Studies have shown that authenticity, being true to oneself and expressing that honestly, correlates strongly with well-being and meaningful relationships. Authentic people tend to experience greater life satisfaction, deeper trust with others, and even improved mental health. It's no wonder Sigmas crave authenticity. It aligns perfectly with what science tells us about human flourishing. This desire for realness explains why Sigmas often avoid crowds or social settings where superficiality dominates. They'd rather be alone than stuck in environments filled with small talk, pretense, or forced smiles. Alone time isn't loneliness for a Sigma, it's a recharge, a space where they can be 100% themselves without compromise. But here's the key. Being a Sigma isn't about judging others harshly or demanding perfection. It's about energy and alignment. It's about surrounding yourself with people who bring their true selves to the table, who don't hide behind masks or play roles. It's about creating spaces where honest conversations happen and vulnerability is welcomed, not feared. For Sigmas, embracing authenticity is a form of leadership. They set an example by showing up raw, honest, and unapologetically themselves. And in a world saturated with superficiality, that's a rare and powerful gift. So if you're a Sigma, keep valuing your truth. Keep tuning into that authenticity radar. Because the world doesn't just need more people who are real, it needs leaders who can inspire others to be real too. Imagine a man who drifts through the noise of the world, yet never lets it weigh him down. Picture a soul so self-contained that even silence becomes a symphony. This man is the Sigma male, a figure of quiet strength and resolute independence. But what makes the Sigma male unshakable? Why does no one dare to tame his spirit? It's because he doesn't just walk a different path. He forges it from scratch. Unlike the alpha who leads and the beta who follows, the Sigma male operates entirely outside the traditional social hierarchies. He writes his own rules, governed not by others, but by his inner compass. Psychologists refer to this archetype as the lone wolf, and for good reason. Sigma males find fulfillment in solitude because it gives them room to reflect and grow. Studies show that spending time alone can actually boost creativity and enhance problem-solving skills. For the Sigma, this solitude isn't a burden, it's a crucible where his ideas are forged into reality. This life of quiet self-mastery isn't about escapism, it's a declaration of self-sovereignty. Sigma males are highly self-reliant, thriving on personal responsibility and inner discipline. They see life as an adventure of the mind, always seeking knowledge and truth rather than external validation. In a world obsessed with clicks and comparisons, the Sigma male remains steadfast. He isn't afraid to stand apart or to question the status quo. This independence fuels his authenticity, allowing him to engage with others without losing his sense of self. So when the noise of the world threatens to drown you out, consider the Sigma way. Be unshakable, forge your own path. Let even silence become a symphony of your making. Number 1, self-reliance as a core principle. Sigma males are the epitome of self-sufficiency. They don't wait for rescue, they become their own heroes. This unwavering independence fortifies them against external pressures, and it's not just a matter of mindset. It's backed by real psychological principles. Let's break it down. In psychology, there's a concept called, this term describes people who believe they can shape their own destiny through their actions. Sigma males embody this idea fully. They believe that regardless of outside circumstances, economic fluctuations, social hierarchies, or cultural expectations, they have the power to determine their path. This is a fundamental trait of self-sufficient people. Now, how do they do this in practice? Sigma males don't rely on external validation to boost their confidence. They know that true strength lies within. While the world might be clamoring for likes, followers, and constant applause, Sigma males understand that these external rewards are fleeting. They focus instead on their skills, values, and personal mission. This mindset echoes the philosophy of Stoicism, where self-mastery and inner discipline are prized above all. Their independence also extends to how they approach problems. When faced with challenges, Sigma males see them as opportunities for growth. They don't crumble under pressure because they've conditioned themselves to find solutions rather than excuses. This proactive attitude is what sets them apart from those who wait for a hero to arrive. In fact, studies show that individuals who take ownership of their challenges are more likely to experience success and fulfillment in life. Another reason Sigma males stand strong is because they're selective about their influences. They're not easily swayed by trends or popular opinions. Instead, they cultivate a discerning mindset, choosing mentors and role models based on substance, not hype. This shields them from the noise of the crowd and gives them clarity in their decision-making. Let's not forget the practical side. Sigma males are adept at acquiring new skills and knowledge. Whether it's mastering a new craft or staying ahead in their career, they're constantly evolving. This thirst for knowledge ensures they're always equipped to handle life's surprises. So next time you hear about a Sigma male, remember, he's not just an independent thinker. He's someone who's learned to harness his own power, trust his own instincts, and stand tall no matter what life throws his way. Number 2, emotional mastery. While others may be swayed by emotions, Sigma males maintain emotional equilibrium. They understand their feelings but aren't governed by them, allowing for rational decision-making even in chaos. Let's break this down. Emotional equilibrium means having the ability to remain calm and composed, no matter the situation. It's not about suppressing emotions, it's about understanding and managing them. Sigma males possess this trait naturally. Rather than letting anger cloud their judgment or joy lead them astray, they see emotions as valuable data points, signals from the mind and heart that inform decisions, not control them. Why is this so powerful? In high-pressure situations, most people react impulsively. Their minds race, their hearts pound, and adrenaline floods their systems. This often leads to rash decisions like shouting back at a boss or panicking in a crisis. Sigma males, however, can pause, assess, and act with precision. Think of them like skilled chess players, always analyzing the board and making moves with clarity. Science backs this up. Research in emotional intelligence shows that those with higher emotional regulation can manage stress more effectively and perform better under pressure. This isn't magic. It's about activating the brain's prefrontal cortex, which governs rational thinking, and minimizing the grip of the amygdala, which is linked to emotional reactivity. Sigma males have mastered this neurological balance. Consider this in real life. Picture a firefighter who calmly coordinates a rescue while others freeze in fear, or a negotiator who remains steady during tense business deals. Sigma males bring this same calm to everyday challenges, whether it's dealing with family drama, office politics, or personal setbacks. They know that emotions are temporary, but decisions have lasting impact. Entertainment-wise, imagine an action hero in a blockbuster film like Jason Bourne or James Bond, cool-headed, assessing risks and executing plans with laser focus. That's the Sigma male's energy in real life, minus the explosions. So why does this matter? Because in a world of constant noise and reactive behavior, the Sigma male's emotional equilibrium is a rare and powerful skill. It allows them to navigate life with confidence, adapt to challenges, and inspire others to find their own calm in the storm. Number 3, purpose-driven living. Every action taken by a Sigma male aligns with a deeper purpose. This clarity of intent acts as a compass, guiding them through life's tumultuous waters without losing direction. Imagine a ship navigating through a stormy sea. While most vessels are tossed around, unsure of their course, the Sigma male's inner compass remains steadfast, pointing true north. This unwavering sense of purpose isn't just an abstract concept. It's rooted in self-awareness and conscious decision-making. Unlike the alpha, who often leads through dominance, or the beta, who seeks validation, the Sigma operates on his own terms. He doesn't move with the crowd or follow trends blindly. Instead, his actions stem from an internal code, a set of values and goals that are unique to him. Studies in psychology suggest that individuals who possess a strong sense of purpose tend to be more resilient in the face of challenges. This trait is seen in Sigma males who approach life as a mission, each choice an intentional step towards something meaningful. For example, when a Sigma male decides to pursue a new career path, it's not just about the paycheck. It's about aligning his skills and passions with a cause that matters to him. He might take risks that seem foolish to others, but they're calculated moves driven by his personal vision. This is why Sigma males are often seen as enigmatic and mysterious. They don't reveal their entire playbook, yet every move they make has been carefully considered. In relationships, this clarity of intent translates to authenticity. Sigma males aren't interested in superficial connections. They seek relationships that resonate with their core values. This makes them both magnetic and intimidating, as they refuse to settle for anything less than genuine. Entertainment comes in observing how Sigma males handle setbacks. While others might crumble under pressure, the Sigma male uses adversity as a learning opportunity. He doesn't see failure as a dead end, but as a redirection towards a more aligned path. This perspective echoes the Japanese philosophy of Kaizen, continuous improvement. It's a practical example of how a Sigma's purpose-driven mindset shapes his response to life's inevitable challenges. In a world that often pushes for conformity, Sigma males remind us of the power of intention and the strength found in self-direction. Their ability to act with precision and purpose is a testament to the transformative potential of clarity in an uncertain world. Number 4, disinterest in social hierarchies. Sigma males operate outside traditional social structures. They neither seek dominance nor submission, choosing instead to define their own place in the world. This makes them stand out from the typical alpha and beta archetypes. While alphas often strive for leadership and recognition and betas tend to follow, sigmas carve out their own unique path, guided by self-determined values and personal freedom. Think of sigma males as lone wolves, independent thinkers who thrive on autonomy. They don't need validation from others or conform to societal standards. Instead, they prioritize their inner calling and live by their own code of ethics. This independence isn't about being antisocial, it's about making conscious choices that align with their true self. Research in social psychology supports the idea of sigma males being comfortable with solitude. Studies on introversion and self-reliance reveal that such men often excel in creative pursuits, problem-solving, and leadership roles that require innovative thinking rather than traditional hierarchies. This doesn't mean sigma males shy away from social interactions. They simply don't let those interactions define them. Another fascinating aspect of sigma males is their adaptability. In the animal kingdom, lone wolves are flexible and resourceful, able to navigate various environments without depending on a pack. Likewise, sigma males adjust to different social contexts without losing their core identity. They're natural observers, keenly aware of social dynamics, yet unbound by them. Their quiet confidence often intrigues people. Unlike alphas who assert dominance, sigma males project a calm, self-assured demeanor. This presence can be magnetic, as it signals security and mystery. You might find them in careers that offer freedom, entrepreneurship, creative arts, or remote work, where they can operate independently and stay true to their own vision. Despite their detachment from social structures, sigma males value meaningful connections. They form deep bonds with those who resonate with their values, favoring quality over quantity in relationships. This selective approach to connection ensures their authenticity shines through. In essence, sigma males remind us that leadership and influence don't always require the spotlight. Sometimes the most impactful individuals are those who quietly forge their own path, inspiring others through example, not authority. Whether you identify as a sigma male or simply appreciate this mindset, it's a powerful lesson in self-mastery and staying true to who you are. Number 5, selective social interactions. Quality over quantity defines their relationships. This mindset isn't just a catchy phrase, it's rooted in the idea that depth is more fulfilling than breadth. When you prioritize quality, you're essentially investing in relationships that nourish your soul and align with your values. Think of it this way, having 5 deep, soulful connections can be far more rewarding than 100 shallow acquaintances. This philosophy is actually supported by psychological research. Studies show that meaningful relationships are linked to greater happiness, lower stress levels, and even longer life expectancy. In contrast, trying to maintain too many superficial connections can actually drain your energy and reduce your emotional well-being. This is why people who embrace the quality over quantity principle are selective. They understand that every interaction requires energy. Time spent on people who don't contribute to your growth or joy is time wasted. These individuals often have a small but tight-knit circle of friends and loved ones. They prefer to go deep, sharing thoughts, dreams, and vulnerabilities rather than engaging in shallow small talk. Let's make this relatable. Picture someone at a crowded party. Most people are chatting about the weather or the latest celebrity scandal. But there's that one person who's having a heart-to-heart conversation in the corner about life goals, fears, and ambitions. That's the power of quality connections. These conversations uplift, inspire, and connect on a deeper level. Even ancient philosophers understood this. Aristotle spoke of friendships of virtue, relationships based on mutual respect and shared values as the highest form of friendship. Modern psychology echoes this, emphasizing that authentic connections are more satisfying and emotionally enriching. In today's world, with social media bombarding us with endless connections, it's easy to fall into the trap of accumulating followers or friends without real bonds. But the truth is, real connections take time, trust, and effort. They're built on shared experiences and honesty, and they're worth every bit of energy you put in because they provide support, meaning, and joy. So remember, quality over quantity isn't just about trimming your social circle, it's about investing in the kind of connections that make your life richer, your days brighter, and your heart fuller. Number 6, influence without authority. Their impact isn't derived from titles or positions, but from authenticity and competence. People are drawn to them not because they command, but because they inspire. This dynamic is rooted in social psychology. Studies show that individuals who lead with authenticity and demonstrate genuine competence are often seen as more trustworthy and charismatic. These leaders don't rely on formal authority or job titles to influence others. Instead, they cultivate relationships built on respect and empathy. Authenticity is the foundation of their influence. When you're authentic, you're consistent in your values, words, and actions. Research by Harvard Business Review highlights that authenticity in leaders increases employee satisfaction and trust. People can sense when someone is truly aligned with their beliefs versus when they're faking it. Competence then seals the deal. It's about demonstrating the skills and knowledge to back up your words. Competence is about doing what you say you'll do and doing it well. This dual combination of authenticity and competence creates a gravitational pull. It's like the magnetism of historical figures such as Mahatma Gandhi, who had no formal title but inspired millions. Or consider sports legends like Michael Jordan. While he had the title of player, it was his undeniable work ethic and skill that earned him respect. Interestingly, social influence doesn't always need grand gestures. A kind word, a supportive gesture, or simply being a consistent example of integrity has profound ripple effects. You don't have to shout to be heard. Your authenticity and competence speak volumes in silence. This is what sets these individuals apart from the crowd. They don't have to demand attention. They naturally attract it. So when you wonder why people gravitate towards someone, look deeper. It's often not the flashy title, but the quiet, powerful combination of authenticity and competence that creates a lasting legacy. Number 7, lifelong learning. Sigma males are often described as independent and self-reliant, but one of their defining traits is their relentless curiosity. Unlike many who settle into comfort zones, Sigma males are perpetual students of life. This means they never stop learning, growing, and evolving. At the core, Sigma males possess a natural thirst for knowledge. It's not about collecting facts just to impress others or gain social status, but about genuinely understanding the world around them. This deep curiosity pushes them to explore new ideas, philosophies, skills, and experiences. Whether it's diving into books on psychology, mastering a new language, or experimenting with different ways of thinking, Sigma males are always on a path of self-improvement. Psychological research supports this trait. Studies show that people with high levels of intrinsic motivation, meaning they learn for the sheer joy of learning, tend to develop greater creativity, resilience, and adaptability. Sigma males exemplify this mindset. Instead of relying on external validation, their motivation comes from within, which fuels continuous growth. This mindset also makes Sigma males excellent problem solvers. Because they are open to new information and adaptable, they can approach challenges from multiple angles. They don't get stuck in rigid patterns, but are flexible enough to revise their beliefs and strategies as they gain new insights. This adaptability is crucial in an ever-changing world, where the ability to learn quickly can mean the difference between success and failure. Moreover, Sigma males tend to learn from life experiences, not just textbooks. They observe people carefully, reflect deeply on situations, and use lessons from failures and successes alike to refine their understanding. This experiential learning is what often sets them apart from others who may rely solely on conventional education. In essence, the Sigma male's curiosity is a lifelong engine driving personal evolution. It's this commitment to learning and growth that shapes their unique approach to life, quiet, confident, and always moving forward. Number 8, resilience through adaptability. Change is not a threat, but an opportunity. This perspective is a powerful mindset that separates those who thrive from those who merely survive. When we view change as an opportunity, we open ourselves up to growth, learning, and new possibilities. Neuroscience shows that the brain is incredibly adaptable, a phenomenon called neuroplasticity. This means our minds can rewire and grow stronger through new experiences and challenges, proving that change can literally help us evolve. People with a flexible mindset don't resist uncertainty or fear the unknown. Instead, they approach change with curiosity and resilience. They understand that setbacks or unexpected events are not dead ends, but stepping stones toward greater success. This mindset builds emotional strength, reducing stress and anxiety, because it shifts focus from what is lost to what can be gained. In fact, studies in psychology emphasize that flexibility correlates with better problem-solving skills and higher creativity. By embracing change as a chance to innovate and adapt, individuals become more resourceful and confident. So next time change comes knocking, don't shut the door. Welcome it with open arms, because it's inviting you to grow stronger, smarter, and more capable than ever before. Sigma males are unbreakable, not because they are invulnerable, but because they have built a life anchored in authenticity, purpose, and resilience. Their strength lies in their unwavering commitment to their principles and their ability to navigate life on their own terms. Sigmas, if this resonates with you, join our community by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Embrace the Sigma qualities to lead a life of impact and authenticity. Stay true and stay Sigma. Welcome, Sigmas. Let's uncover a truth that most will never grasp. A Sigma male who spends his time alone has discovered a rare treasure: freedom. Not just freedom from people, but from the need for them, from seeking their approval, from the weight of their expectations, and from the hollow routines that society worships. While the world seeks meaning in noise and crowds, the Sigma male turns inward, cultivating clarity, resilience, and an unwavering sense of purpose. His solitude isn't an escape, it's an exploration. He questions the rules others take for granted. He faces the uncomfortable truths most run from. He lives on his own terms, not seeking applause or validation. This fierce independence makes him almost impossible to sway and a challenge for anyone to manipulate. Those around him can feel it, an unspoken power that commands respect, not because he demands it, but because he embodies it. So to all the Sigma males listening, understand this: your solitude isn't your weakness, it's your greatest weapon. The more you embrace it, the more formidable you become. Your independence is your edge, a quiet strength that many admire but few dare to possess. Let them see it as dangerous if they must, because the truth is, what they see in you is what they secretly yearn for in themselves. That's the mark of a man who's truly free. So stick with me until the end. We're going deeper into the mind of a Sigma. Let's begin. Point 1, the power of solitude. Sigmas, let's start with the bedrock of this dangerous power, solitude. 1, solitude isn't loneliness, it's a weapon. A lot of people think being alone is a curse. Oh, he's a loner, he must be sad, right? Wrong. The Sigma male sees solitude as his sanctuary, his personal forge where he hones his mind, refines his purpose, and sharpens his focus. Unlike the common belief that solitude equals isolation, studies show that alone time can actually boost creativity, focus, and mental well-being. A 2017 study in the journal found that individuals who embrace solitude often have stronger problem-solving skills and greater self-awareness. Being alone allows him to listen to his own thoughts, not the noise of the world. He doesn't need to please anyone or fit into the mainstream mold. His alone time is where he grows stronger, more resilient, and more dangerous. 1, the art of deep reflection. When the world is busy chattering, the Sigma is busy listening. Listening to what? To himself. He's not distracted by gossip or the constant noise of opinions. Instead, he's reflecting, analyzing, and plotting his next move like a chess master. This practice is backed by psychology. Deep reflection activates the brain's default mode network, the same network engaged during creative thinking and strategic planning. This means that while others are caught in the endless scroll of social media, the Sigma is creating a mental map of where he wants to go. This deep reflection leads to clarity of purpose, and clarity, Sigmas, is a lethal advantage. 1, building inner resilience. Solitude breeds a certain kind of resilience that's rare today. Without relying on external validation, the Sigma learns to be his own fortress. He's his own biggest cheerleader and his own harshest critic. Neuroscience research confirms that regular periods of solitude can strengthen emotional regulation and reduce stress. This inner strength is what makes the Sigma unshakable. He's not dangerous because he's aggressive. He's dangerous because he's unyielding. Every quiet moment he spends alone is another layer of mental armor, another brick in the wall of his self-sufficiency. When challenges come, he doesn't buckle. He adapts, recalibrates, and keeps moving forward, undeterred by the opinions of the world. So remember this: solitude isn't a punishment. It's the ultimate training ground for the Sigma male. It's where he becomes the master of his own destiny. Point 2, the mystique of the lone wolf. Sigmas, let's be honest, there's something undeniably magnetic about the lone wolf, the guy who doesn't need the crowd. Let's break down why that mystique is so powerful and yes, so dangerous. First up, the mysterious aura. You know what's more unsettling than an obvious threat, the unknown? When a Sigma chooses solitude, it isn't a sign of weakness. It's an enigmatic force. In psychological terms, humans are hardwired to be intrigued by what they can't fully see or understand. This is called the curiosity gap, and it pulls people in. The Sigma's silence speaks volumes, but it's never easy to decode. That alone triggers fascination and sometimes fear. Second, mastering the art of observation. While the masses are lost in a swirl of social interactions, the Sigma quietly watches from the sidelines. He's not just drifting, he's gathering data, processing it like a high-speed computer. Research in cognitive psychology shows that people who observe first and act later often have a strategic advantage. Think of the Sigma as a panther in the jungle. He watches the herd, tracks the patterns, and only moves when it matters. This strategic patience is why Sigmas can slip through life's chaos with laser-sharp precision. Third, emotional independence. This isn't about being cold or distant, it's about being self-contained. Studies have shown that people with high levels of emotional intelligence can regulate their emotions and resist external pressures. Sigmas embody this trait effortlessly. They don't rely on constant validation or approval from others. That's why social games and manipulation tactics just bounce right off them. People can't sway someone who doesn't crave their applause. And here's why this independence is so dangerous in the eyes of the social world. It's untouchable. The Sigma isn't driven by fear of rejection or the need to fit in. He's driven by his own compass. This unshakable core makes others feel both curious and threatened because it can't be tamed or predicted, so Sigmas. Remember, this power isn't about pushing people away. It's about owning who you are, trusting your own instincts, and seeing the world with clear, unwavering eyes. The lone wolf doesn't just survive, he thrives. Point 3. Why does he choose to be alone? Now, you might be wondering, why does he choose to be alone in the first place? Let's unpack this choice. He's selective with his energy, Sigmas. Understand that energy is currency, precious and limited. They're aware that investing it in shallow interactions or aimless chatter is like pouring money into a bottomless pit. Instead, they choose solitude as a means to recharge, refocus, and recalibrate. Research in psychology highlights the importance of solitude in fostering creativity and self-awareness. By retreating from the noise of constant socializing, Sigmas create space for their minds to wander, for ideas to blossom, and for genuine connections to thrive when they do engage with others. Quality over quantity. The Sigma male isn't interested in amassing a large social circle for the sake of it. Instead of chasing after endless small talk, he prioritizes meaningful conversations and authentic bonds. Studies on friendship networks have shown that deep, trust-based relationships are far more fulfilling and contribute significantly to well-being compared to numerous shallow connections. So he's not worried about having hundreds of friends. A few like-minded individuals who truly understand him are enough. This approach to relationships ensures his energy goes into connections that nourish his soul rather than drain it. He's building his empire. Every moment spent alone isn't about escaping the world. It's about building his own. Solitude gives him the clarity and focus needed to invest in his passions. Whether that's advancing his career, honing his fitness, exploring his spirituality, or mastering a craft. In fact, research has shown that alone time is often when people engage in the deepest forms of self-reflection and personal growth. While others might mistake this quiet for loneliness, he knows it's in these quiet hours that empires are built. These are the times when he sets goals, strategizes, and crafts the future he wants to live. Sigmas, remember this. Solitude isn't a retreat, it's a forge. In the stillness, you're sharpening your mind, strengthening your spirit, and laying the groundwork for something remarkable. When you step out of that solitude, you're not empty, you're powerful, intentional, and ready to make an impact. Point 4, the dangerous edge. Why it intimidates others. Here's where it gets spicy. Why does the Sigma's alone time make him so intimidating? Let's unpack this with some engaging insights and real-world examples. First, a Sigma male who's comfortable being alone can't be manipulated. In a world obsessed with social circles, likes and validation, the man who stands content in solitude is a rare breed. Studies in psychology show that social exclusion can trigger real pain. Our brains light up the same way they do for physical pain when we feel left out. But the Sigma has already conquered that fear. He's self-contained, unafraid of being left out, and immune to the threats of abandonment that often control others. This makes him a fortress, unbreakable and self-reliant. Second, he's not desperate for approval. This detachment from external validation is a powerful trait. Researchers have found that people who base their self-esteem on external factors like popularity or relationships often feel more anxious and less authentic. The Sigma male, on the other hand, draws from his inner well of self-worth. He doesn't play by the rules of social games. That makes him unpredictable, and unpredictability is intimidating. He can't be boxed in, labeled, or used as a pawn in someone else's chess game. Like the Joker in a deck of cards, he's the wild card who can rewrite the rules. Finally, there's that silent confidence. Confidence isn't always about loud declarations or chest-beating bravado. True confidence, the kind that turns heads and makes others pause, is calm and grounded. Think about apex predators in the wild, like tigers. They move with quiet grace, and yet everyone knows they're a force to be reckoned with. That's the Sigma male's vibe. He doesn't need to roar. His presence alone sends a signal of strength and self-assuredness. People sense it and instinctively respect it, or fear it. So the next time you see a man who's perfectly fine in his own company, remember, he's not lonely, he's powerful. His alone time isn't a weakness, it's his greatest weapon. Point 5, humor break. Lighten the mood. All right, Sigmas, let's not get too serious here. Let's take a quick humor break. Picture this, you're at a coffee shop, minding your own business. There's a guy across the room slurping a pumpkin spice latte and scrolling aimlessly through social media. He sees you sitting alone with a book titled The Art of Thinking Clearly, or maybe Nietzsche's. You're sipping your black coffee like it's a rare vintage. He thinks, poor guy, must be so lonely. But here's the truth, Sigmas. Loneliness isn't really on your radar. In fact, solitude is your sanctuary. Did you know that, according to a study published in the Spending Time Alone in Quiet Environments actually boosts cognitive performance and creativity? It's like hitting the mental gym for your mind. While that guy is worried about your social life, you're probably making plans to launch a new startup, climb that mountain you've always wanted to conquer, or figure out how to live off the grid and write a best-selling book. Solitude isn't a punishment for you, it's a strategic retreat. Even history's greatest thinkers and creators, from Leonardo da Vinci to Nikola Tesla, cherished solitude as a source of innovation and self-mastery. And here's a fun fact. A 2020 study by the University of Buffalo found that people who prefer solitude, like you, Sigmas, often score higher on measures of self-reliance and personal growth. That's not isolation, that's evolution. It's like giving your soul a quiet space to grow. So let them think you're lonely. Let them misinterpret your silence as emptiness. You know the truth. You're not avoiding people, you're avoiding trivial conversations. You're not alone. You're in the company of your own brilliant thoughts. That's the Sigma way. And hey, while everyone else is tangled in endless chatter, you're forging a path that's uniquely yours. Keep going, Sigmas. The world will catch up eventually. Point 6. How this lifestyle boosts his power. Let's dive deeper into how spending time alone transforms the Sigma into a powerhouse, and why this solitude isn't just a retreat, it's a strategic advantage. 1. Enhanced focus. Imagine trying to study in a crowded cafe. Good luck. In solitude, the Sigma sheds all distractions. Research from the University of California shows that interruptions can cost up to 23 minutes of lost productivity. Alone, the Sigma can sink into deep work mode, a term coined by Cal Newport. This is the space where real progress happens. No external noise, no drama, just pure focus. It's like having an invisible force field around your goals. 2. Self-mastery. Solitude isn't just a luxury, it's a training ground. It's where the Sigma learns to control his thoughts, emotions, and actions. There's no one to blame or impress, just himself. Think of it like a mental gym. He's lifting weights of discipline and endurance. A Harvard study even found that people who spend time alone develop better emotional regulation. The Sigma learns to be the captain of his own ship, steering through life with intention. 3. Heightened creativity. Did you know that solitude has been linked to some of the most innovative breakthroughs in history? Albert Einstein used to wander off on long walks, letting his thoughts roam free. Studies published in the show that solitude enhances divergent thinking, the ability to generate many ideas. This is the Sigma's secret weapon. When alone, he's free from groupthink. He's not absorbing other people's opinions like a sponge. He's creating his own. 4. He becomes his own best friend. This is where the real transformation happens. In solitude, the Sigma becomes comfortable with himself. He's no longer seeking external validation. He realizes that true confidence doesn't come from the crowd, it comes from within. Psychologists call this self-acceptance, and it's a key factor in emotional resilience. The Sigma stops fearing rejection because he's already accepted himself. That's why he's emotionally bulletproof. In the end, solitude isn't isolation, it's liberation. The Sigma emerges not as a lonely wolf, but as a powerhouse of focus, discipline, and creativity. So if you see a Sigma taking a solo walk or working alone in a quiet corner, know that he's not retreating from the world. He's sharpening his mind, building his fortress, and preparing to unleash his full potential. Point 7. Applying this to your life. Sigmas, this isn't just about admiring the Sigma archetype, it's about becoming it. The Sigma male isn't just a personality type, he's a mindset, a lifestyle, a quiet force that shapes his own path regardless of societal expectations. Here's how you can embody that energy, step by step. One of the defining traits of a Sigma male is his comfort with solitude. This isn't about loneliness, it's about intentional aloneness. Carving out even 30 minutes a day to be alone with your thoughts can radically shift your perspective. Neuroscience shows that periods of solitude help your brain consolidate memories, boost creativity, and improve problem-solving skills. During this time, ask yourself powerful questions like, what am I working toward? Who am I becoming? These reflections are not just daydreams, they are your mental blueprint. By dedicating consistent time to self-reflection, you're setting the foundation for deliberate, purpose-driven growth. This sacred space becomes your personal laboratory where your goals take shape and your future self is designed. Being a Sigma male often means walking a path that others don't immediately understand. It's a solitary journey, and that can lead to feeling misunderstood or even judged. But here's the secret, that's exactly what separates you from the crowd. Psychologists suggest that individuals who break from social conformity often face resistance because they challenge the status quo. Instead of seeking validation, the Sigma male learns to embrace this disconnect. When others gossip or doubt, it's simply noise, background static to your mission. Your focus is building your empire, cultivating skills, and mastering your own life. Remember, many revolutionary figures in history were misunderstood in their time, yet their perseverance paved the way for greatness. So let others talk while you quietly build. Solitude isn't just for reflection, it's the perfect time for growth. Use your alone time to read books, listen to podcasts, learn new skills, or engage in deep thinking. Research confirms that continuous learning not only boosts intelligence, but also increases your brain's plasticity, the ability to adapt and grow. The Sigma male understands that knowledge is power, and every minute invested in intellectual growth is a step closer to mastery. This isn't about collecting trivia. It's about sharpening your mental edge to think critically, strategize effectively, and innovate. The mind of a Sigma is a fortress, always evolving and becoming stronger. By following these principles, finding your sacred space, embracing being misunderstood, and sharpening your mind, you start to live the Sigma way. It's a journey of self-mastery, resilience, and silent strength. Not everyone will see it, but that's the point. You're not here to fit in. You're here to stand out. And more importantly, to stand tall on your own terms. Sigmas, here's the ultimate truth. The Sigma male who always spends time alone is powerful, not because he's violent or ruthless, but because he's completely self-possessed. He is his own kingdom, his own best friend, and his fiercest competitor. This independence is rooted in psychological strength. Studies show that spending time alone can boost creativity, emotional intelligence, and self-awareness, qualities that Sigmas naturally embody. Unlike others who seek validation from social groups, Sigma males thrive in solitude, using it to recharge and sharpen their minds. This self-reliance means when he enters a room, he doesn't just blend in. He commands attention without saying a word. His confidence is silent but undeniable. So next time someone asks, "Why are you always alone?" smile, because your solitude isn't loneliness, it's your superpower, the foundation of your strength and individuality. Sigmas, if this video sparked something in you, if you're ready to embrace the power of solitude and live life on your own terms, join this community by subscribing and liking this video. Stay true and stay Sigma. Welcome, Sigmas. It's no secret that women are naturally drawn to men who can elevate their lives and provide security. Women seek partners who satisfy their emotional and physical needs, making them feel cherished and valued. This allows them to truly flourish without having to carry the same burdens alone. On the other hand, men are intrigued by women who are both ambitious and driven, traits that add excitement and depth to a relationship. It's like merging two powerful energies, the nurturing power of the feminine and the dynamic force of a go-getter spirit. But here's the catch. What if you could find a woman who combines both? A woman who's as nurturing as she is driven. That's the dream, isn't it? Enter the Sigma male, a man who doesn't seek the spotlight, but commands respect effortlessly. He doesn't chase or try to impress because his confidence is genuine and calm. Studies show that women are biologically programmed to be drawn to this steady presence, a man who provides emotional safety without being overbearing. This isn't just about biology, it's about the magnetic appeal of mystery and independence. Sigma males possess a quiet yet undeniable charm that makes women feel both safe and excited. Their laid-back demeanor masks a powerful drive and ambition, making them irresistible to women who crave both security and adventure. So let's dive into the 8 compelling reasons why women can't help but fall in love with Sigma males, and discover how this unique energy creates relationships that are deeply fulfilling and transformative. Number 1, the enigmatic aura. Sigma males exude a mysterious charm that's hard to ignore. Their reserved nature and introspective demeanor create an aura of intrigue, making others curious to learn more about them. Unlike the typical alpha or beta male archetypes, Sigma males carve their own path. They're fiercely independent, often preferring to navigate life on their terms rather than conform to societal expectations. So what exactly makes Sigma males so captivating? For starters, their quiet confidence speaks volumes. They don't feel the need to boast or draw attention to themselves. Instead, their authenticity and self-assuredness shine through in their actions. This subtle magnetism can be more alluring than overt displays of dominance. It's like watching a lone wolf move with purpose through a forest, calm, focused, and untamed. Psychologically, people are naturally drawn to mystery. Studies in social psychology suggest that we're wired to be intrigued by individuals who reveal only glimpses of themselves. It creates a sense of allure because we want to solve the puzzle, to understand what lies beneath the surface. Sigma males embody this perfectly. They often share their thoughts selectively, leaving people hanging on every word, wondering what's really going on in that enigmatic mind. Moreover, Sigma males are typically highly self-aware and introspective. They're the type to spend hours reflecting on their goals, values, and purpose. This inward focus often makes them wise beyond their years. They're less likely to be swept up in fleeting trends or shallow pursuits, and more likely to engage in meaningful conversations that challenge conventional thinking. From an evolutionary standpoint, this behavior can be seen as a signal of strength. In hunter-gatherer societies, those who were self-reliant and could thrive without constant validation were respected. Today, Sigma males carry that same air of self-reliance, commanding respect without demanding it. Their understated charisma extends beyond the realm of social interactions. Sigma males are often driven by a sense of purpose rather than a desire to impress. This authenticity is rare and deeply attractive. It's why they seem to leave a lasting impression on everyone they meet. So the next time you encounter a Sigma male, pay attention to the quiet intensity in his eyes and the calm strength in his demeanor. You might just find yourself drawn in by that magnetic pull, curious to uncover the depths of his mysterious soul. Number 2, intellectual depth. Beyond their quiet exterior lies a mind that's rich with thoughts and ideas. Sigma males are often misunderstood as loners or emotionally distant, but the truth is far more fascinating. These men possess an intellectual depth that fuels their inner world, making them masters of deep thinking and stimulating conversation. Unlike the stereotypical alpha male who may thrive on being the center of attention, sigma males operate on a different frequency. They don't feel the need to dominate social settings or seek validation from the crowd. Instead, their power lies in their contemplative nature, constantly observing, analyzing, and reflecting. This introspective approach allows them to develop complex ideas and a unique perspective on life. When sigma males do engage in conversation, it's never surface-level small talk. They tend to dive into meaningful topics, often challenging conventional wisdom or exploring abstract concepts. Their discussions are like mental workouts, sparking curiosity and encouraging others to think deeper. Whether it's philosophy, science, culture, or personal growth, sigma males bring a rich intellectual energy that captivates those lucky enough to engage with them. One fascinating trait of sigma males is their ability to listen attentively. They don't just wait for their turn to speak. They genuinely absorb what others say, processing information carefully before responding. This skill makes their input valuable and often surprising because it's well thought out, rather than impulsive. This quality also creates a sense of respect and trust as people feel genuinely heard and understood. Research on personality traits offers some insight into why sigma males exhibit this behavior. They often score high in introversion and openness to experience. Introversion explains their preference for solitary reflection, while openness relates to their curiosity and appreciation for new ideas and experiences. This combination fosters creativity and intellectual growth, making sigma males natural philosophers, innovators, or visionaries in various fields. In social dynamics, their preference for quality over quantity in relationships means their conversations tend to be rich and meaningful rather than frequent or superficial. This makes sigma males rare gems in a world often dominated by noise and distraction. So while they might not be the loudest voice in the room, sigma males hold a treasure trove of ideas beneath their calm exterior, a quiet storm of intellect waiting to inspire, challenge, and transform. Number 3, authentic independence. Sigma males are often described as the lone wolves of the social hierarchy, but this label doesn't quite capture the full picture. At the core of what defines a sigma male is their deep value for autonomy, the freedom to live life on their own terms without feeling tethered to societal expectations or social norms. This trait of self-reliance is not merely about enjoying solitude, it's about a profound confidence and inner assurance that sets them apart in any crowd. Unlike alpha males, who often seek leadership roles and social dominance, sigma males prefer to operate independently. They don't crave validation or status from others because their self-worth is internally sourced. This means they can thrive whether they're in a group or completely alone. Research in social psychology highlights that this type of intrinsic motivation, where individuals find satisfaction from within rather than external rewards, is linked to greater emotional resilience and well-being. One fascinating fact about sigma males is their ability to navigate social situations without conforming to group pressures. They are often observant and highly perceptive, preferring to analyze before engaging. This selective interaction stems from their desire to maintain autonomy rather than be swept up in social dynamics that don't align with their personal values or goals. This makes them appear mysterious or enigmatic, qualities that naturally draw people's curiosity and admiration. Another interesting point is how their self-assuredness can be incredibly attractive. Confidence that isn't loud or boastful but quietly steady tends to inspire trust and respect. This is backed by psychological studies showing that people are generally drawn to individuals who display authentic confidence. Confidence rooted in self-acceptance rather than arrogance or aggression. Sigma males embody this by knowing who they are, what they want, and not feeling the need to broadcast it to the world. Moreover, sigma males tend to develop a wide range of skills to sustain their independence, from problem-solving and creativity to emotional intelligence. They often become masters of adaptability, able to handle unexpected challenges without panic, because they rely on their internal compass rather than external guidance. In summary, sigma males' self-reliance is much more than enjoying solitude. It's a rich blend of autonomy, confidence, and emotional intelligence. This unique combination not only empowers them to live authentically, but also makes them magnetic to others, who sense the strength in their quiet independence. Number 4, emotional stability. In a world where emotional turbulence seems to be the norm, Sigma males often stand apart due to their remarkable calmness and composed nature. This steady demeanor is not just a personality quirk. It's a defining trait that impacts how they interact with the world and the people around them. But what exactly makes Sigma males so uniquely calm, and why does this quality matter so much? First, it helps to understand who Sigma males are. Unlike the stereotypical alpha male who seeks leadership and social dominance, Sigma males tend to operate outside the traditional social hierarchies. They are independent, self-reliant, and highly introspective. Because they don't rely heavily on external validation or social approval, Sigma males aren't easily rattled by social drama or emotional outbursts that might throw others off balance. One of the reasons Sigma males maintain such composure is their strong emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, or EQ, refers to the ability to recognize, understand, and manage one's own emotions, as well as to empathize with others. Sigma males usually have a high EQ, which means they can navigate emotional situations with a cool head, making decisions based on logic rather than reactive feelings. This emotional stability provides a sense of security to those around them, as people naturally gravitate toward calm individuals in moments of crisis or uncertainty. Interestingly, research shows that people who remain calm under pressure are often seen as more trustworthy and competent. A study published in the Journal of Applied Psychology found that leaders who exhibit emotional calmness inspire greater confidence and loyalty among their followers. While Sigma males might not seek leadership roles, their quiet confidence has a similar effect. They become natural anchors in chaotic environments. Another key factor behind their calm nature is their preference for solitude and reflection. Sigma males tend to spend a lot of time alone, which allows them to recharge and process their thoughts without distraction. This introspective habit builds mental resilience and clarity, enabling them to face stress without succumbing to panic or anxiety. Finally, Sigma males' calmness also stems from a mindset focused on control over the self rather than control over others. Instead of trying to manipulate situations or people, they prioritize mastering their own emotions and responses. This approach reduces unnecessary conflicts and emotional upheaval, contributing to a peaceful and composed presence. In summary, the calm and composed nature of Sigma males is rooted in independence, high emotional intelligence, introspection, and self-mastery. Their ability to remain steady amidst emotional storms not only defines their character, but also makes them a source of stability and trustworthiness in an often chaotic world. Number 5, non-conformist attitude. Sigma males don't follow the crowd. Unlike traditional social archetypes such as alphas or betas, Sigma males carve their own path, often quietly, sometimes mysteriously, but always with purpose. What sets them apart is not just a preference for solitude, but a distinctive mindset that values independence, critical thinking, and authenticity above all else. First off, Sigma males are known for their unique perspectives. While most people tend to conform to social norms, following trends, joining popular groups, or seeking approval, Sigma males question these conventions. They aren't rebels just for the sake of rebellion, but because they genuinely analyze whether the rules make sense to them. This critical approach enables them to challenge societal norms intelligently rather than blindly. Interestingly, Sigma males often possess high emotional intelligence and self-awareness. Studies in psychology show that independent thinkers tend to develop strong intrapersonal skills, meaning they understand themselves deeply. This self-understanding leads to better decision-making and often creates a magnetic aura of confidence and calm. It's no wonder they are described as intriguing and refreshing companions. Their presence signals depth and a refusal to engage in meaningless social posturing. Moreover, Sigma males tend to be highly adaptable. Because they don't rely on traditional social hierarchies, they can navigate various environments without needing validation from others. Whether in a work setting, social group, or unfamiliar situation, Sigma males can observe, analyze, and act independently. This flexibility makes them excellent problem solvers and leaders in unconventional ways, often leading quietly from the background. Another fascinating aspect is that Sigma males value authenticity. They prefer genuine connections over superficial ones. They are not interested in small talk or playing social games, which can make their interactions feel more meaningful and intense. This authenticity attracts like-minded people who appreciate depth and substance. Sigma males also challenge the stereotype that leadership must be loud and dominant. Instead, they exemplify a more introverted style of leadership, leading through example, resilience, and wisdom, rather than charisma or force. This is supported by modern leadership research, emphasizing emotional intelligence and self-mastery as critical qualities in effective leaders. In summary, Sigma males offer a fresh alternative to traditional social roles. Their willingness to think independently, challenge norms, and value authenticity not only sets them apart, but also makes them deeply compelling. In a world that often rewards conformity, Sigma males remind us that sometimes the greatest strength lies in going your own way. Number 6, purpose-driven life. Sigma males are often characterized by a clear sense of purpose and strong personal goals, which fuel their drive and ambition. Unlike the traditional alpha male archetype, who may seek leadership through social dominance, Sigma males tend to pursue success on their own terms. This independent mindset allows them to focus deeply on personal growth and achievement without relying on external validation. Research in personality psychology shows that Sigma males often exhibit traits linked to high conscientiousness and openness to experience. Conscientiousness reflects a strong work ethic, discipline, and goal-oriented behavior, qualities that naturally align with ambition. Openness to experience fosters creativity and adaptability, helping Sigma males navigate challenges in unique ways. This combination makes their dedication to self-improvement both effective and inspiring. What sets Sigma males apart is their ability to remain motivated even when isolated. They don't need constant social interaction or approval to stay committed to their goals. This intrinsic motivation drives them to pursue long-term achievements, whether in career, hobbies, or personal development. Sigma males are also known for their strategic thinking. They plan meticulously and take calculated risks, which often leads to breakthroughs that others might miss. This methodical approach to ambition makes them stand out in competitive environments. Furthermore, their pursuit of personal growth is attractive because it's authentic. Instead of competing with others, Sigma males compete with themselves, striving to be better than they were yesterday. This self-driven ambition creates a magnetic aura, drawing respect and admiration from others. In summary, Sigma males embody ambition through purposeful independence, disciplined self-growth, and strategic thinking. Their journey is less about status and more about meaningful achievement, making their drive both educationally fascinating and genuinely inspiring. Number 7, respect for boundaries. Understanding and respecting personal space is a key trait that sets Sigma males apart. Unlike many who might seek constant social validation or invade others' boundaries,